Good night. Have one John tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Erwin J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a word on tonight. And the topic gonna be the position widow. Jesus gonna be teaching in parables. This widow gonna be so positioned in her prayer and keep on going. She gonna keep on going till she wear this judge out. So this story about this widow who will be positioned on getting this judge's attention. Now this judge who lack of compassion, for God. Now he fear God. I mean, he do not fear God at all. All men, all this widow, who's seeking justice. She's just only seeking justice, and he'll judge and don't want to be bothered. So now Jesus will be teaching in parables, you know, teaching in parables to his disciples. So keep on praying and never stop. You know, so just be persistent in prayers, and trust in God to lead and guide you. Seek a deeper relationship with God. Just talked about that yesterday. Think with Solomon. You know, David was telling Solomon, have a deep relationship with God. He gonna lead you all the way through that temple. He was building a temple. Cling on to your faith. Now, while you is waiting on your prayer to be answered, you have to have faith. You have to trust God that He will follow through. You know, um, all obstacles and discouragement may incur. So all kind of obstacles gonna get in your way while you are waiting for God to answer your prayers. But we gonna be positioned like this widow here. She ain't never let it stop. She just kept on praying and kept being positioned, going to this judge, and she kept on going till she wore him out. So this widow, she was positioned in prayers until God heard her. Now, Jesus teaches his disciples that justice has its own source. It's in God. So you know who our source is. God is our judge. He our doctor. He our teacher. He anything you want him to be. So when this judge, you know, didn't want to help, not only just her, it's a group of people in that time. He did everybody going to him and he just turned people away, but he'll judge. And our source is God. He is our source. He can be our judge, he can be our teacher, lawyer, anything. you know we are his footstool. So though many barriers exist in the world, that prevent us from receiving or experiencing justice. Because on earth, we on earth, a lot of time, you're going through justice. And you may not get favor. And sometimes you could be innocent, and you still it will not go in your favor all the time. Because it can always be waving around, and even though you innocent, things can still be swept around, and you will not have justice on favor for you. But this woman here could not get justice at all. She couldn't even get served without him just brushing her away. So but we go to the only one that can bring justice into our favor on earth, and that is God. You know, He's our only source that we're gonna go to. That can help us and save us. Position widow. She demonstrates that effective prayer, requires tendency and faithfulness. That's what I was saying. When you pray, sometimes you might not be answered in a way that you want to be answered. That means you have to. That means your faith have to kick in. So she demonstrate effective prayer. Persistent prayer. She kept on going at it every day. So Jesus teaches the disciples that they should always pray and never give up. He teaching them about he telling the story in the parable about this persistent woman that just kept on praying, kept on being persistent. No matter you get a no, you keep on going. You keep on praying. You get rejected. You just keep on praying. Just keep on being persistent in it, like this widow. So this passage will be coming from Luke chapter 18, verse 1 through 8. So one, now Jesus is teaching his disciples in parable, to always pray and never give up. You have to keep on praying, never give up. Even if God quiet, even if He take a long time, you got to keep on praying. Because see, God look at how long if it take if you're gonna get frustrated and just stop and throw in the towel. That's is very important. When you keep on praying, He look at that. And your answer will be answered real soon. God do things on His own time, and He want to see how long it will take before you give up. You always supposed to hang in, because sooner you about to give up, there go your answer. Because He always show up right on time. So be positioned in prayer. Be positioned in seeking God and never stop. Because he don't answer quickly all the time. Meaning you have to keep on praying. Be persistent in seeking justice. You know, and we listen in everything we do. You know, she only was trying to seek justice, and he just kept turning her away. But she gonna keep on praying, and she gonna keep going to him, being persistent and persistent. And every time he turned her away, she come right back the next day. So too, Jesus saying, in this town, now he about to tell him about this judge. He said, in this town, there is a judge. He fear not God. Oh man, that this is a mean judge. He don't have compassion for God at all. He just mean. So this judge is mean, and he don't have compassion for God or for any kind of justice, but he's a judge. Who comes to him for justice, and he just turn them away. So hey, Jesus teaches disciples, your source is in God. Who we seek in prayer. God is who we pray to. We pray to him, for any kind of justice or any kind of anything that we have come upon us in our life. So now this widow, she lived in the same town with this judge, and she got a and her husband ain't too long died. So now she got to look for justice in the same time. She in the same town with this judge. So now this widow in the same town with this judge, and she kept coming to him with her plea. She wanted this judge to grant her justice against her ancestry. It's a case that she wanted him to deal with. Her husband is dead, so she trying to get justice on whatever her case was. So this widow husband died, and she needed help, and he refused to help. So for this widow kept being persistent, going to the judge, and he refused her every time. Every time she kept on going to him, he refused her. But it doesn't matter. Every time he refused her, she kept on going back. And that's how we have to do in life. You know, I be rejected all the time. I be treated unfairly all the time. But guess what? I don't stop. I don't give up. I just keep on being persistent in what I'm doing and don't never stop. And that's how God see. God want to see if obstacles get in your way. The devil put all kind of stuff in your way, and you get so frustrated, you just stop. I could have stopped a long time ago, but I have faith, and I'm very persistent on doing what I need to do. And I don't never stop. I'm just like this woman here. This woman never stopped. She just kept on praying. She kept on being persistent. So now um this judge fear God not. So this judge fear God not. So I don't know what problem he have with God. But he said, I don't fear God. I don't fear man. He just don't fear nothing. So this judge don't care about anything. Not he don't care about helping no one. And now on five. Now this judge getting tired. Now he getting tired. Now this how you got to do. You got to keep on praying, and you got to keep on being persistent. Now she's so persistent. Keep on here. Tell you turn her away. She keep on coming back the next day. Now she wearing him out. Now he's saying that this judge is getting tired of this widow. Keep on coming to him. So this judge is saying she is bothering me. How a judge gonna say, someone is bothering him when she come to him for a case. So he's saying this widow is keep on coming to me. Now she is bothering me. So now still of him helping her, he's saying she bothering him. So he's saying, so this woman is positioned and she wearing him out. He'll refuse her. Now anytime somebody refuse you just don't, you're not gonna go back to that person no more. But not this widow here. She kept on being persistent. Every time he refused her, she kept on going back. And that's how you have to do. You got to keep on being persistent. You got to keep on going and keep on going until you wear them out. Don't let them wear you out. You wear them out. She wore him out. So he like, oh, well, I'm about to sit. I'm about to take her case, to keep her from coming back, because she just keep on coming. Even though he felt that way, but she wore him out until he had no other choice but to take her case. So this widow, she was persistent. She wore him out. Now sometimes you have to wear them out. If somebody keep refusing you, you keep on being rejected. And I know this chick here, she kept on applying for this job that she really want. They kept on rejecting her. And you gotta wait 3-4 months later before you can apply again. So every 3-4 months she kept on applying again. And see the third time, he said, didn't you come here before? She said, yeah, until he wound up behind her because every time he kept refusing her, she kept coming back. Okay, I could come back in 3 months. 3 months, she kept on going back. And she kept on doing that until he finally recognized her, give her attention, and give her that job. And that's how you have to do. You got to keep on being persistent until you got to wear them out until they look up and they finally give you attention. Oh, okay, I'm going to take your case. Okay, I'm going to give you this job. And that's how you have to do. This widow here, she didn't stop. This judge getting tired of her saying she bothering him. So this widow position and she wearing him out. You have to be that way sometime. When you keep being refused, keep being rejected. You just got to keep on being persistent, keep on standing firm. Never give up, never get worried and give up. You got to keep on standing. So this judge said, I will make sure. Now he said, I'm gonna make sure I take her case. Because seem like she ain't gonna never stop. And you think? So now he wanna take her case. Because he said she keep on coming. So he figured I'm gonna take her case to stop her from coming. And so now this judge said I will take her case for sure. Make sure she get justice. Because she just keep on coming. Before she wet me out. She already wore them out. Anytime you decide you're gonna take her case, she done wore you out already. So he only serving her to stop her from keep coming. You know, he don't want her to come back. So that's the kind of judge they have in that time. He's an unjust judge. That don't have compassion for nothing. you know. So sometimes you might have to deal with certain people like that. Unjust. Just don't care about life. Just don't care about God. You got so many people that just disrespect God because they fear not. Just like this judge. He fear not of God. And that totally is disrespectful. Now he only serving her because she constantly keep weighing him out. So this widow, she not only um praying to God, but so many others is crying out to God day and night. So God had to come and from her to see what is really going on. She not the only one praying. Other people in the town was praying to God. God said they was praying to him day and night, you know? So they crying out day and night to God. So God will bring justice for his chosen ones, you know? He'll bring justice for his chosen one. You know, that's an Israelite. Israelite is his chosen one. You know, so they also told God that this judge kept putting them off. You know, everybody have a case. And he the only judge in that town. But he refused to take any one case. You know, so everyone was just crying out to God day and night, day and night. You know, because he kept on not the rest of one position like this woman here. She don't know kept on going to him. When they refused the rest of them, they just stopped going and just kept on praying to God. But she kept on praying and kept going to him until she wore him out. You know, so now we see this judge was not taking no one cases. Well, they had to reach out to God, cry out to God day and night, you know, for help, you know. So, hey, now God's stepping in. See, once you constantly keep on praying to God, and especially His chosen one, you know, God gonna step in, and God gonna make sure you have justice, you know. So now God is stepping in. Now He said, you know, He will see that He handled every one case. And guess what? He gonna make sure that he handle every one case, and he gonna handle it quickly. See, when once God step in, he do things quickly. Before your eyes, things will start moving. You know, once he step in, cause see, he'll stay quiet for a long time. You know, and people will be thinking, you're not his chosen. You know, because Israelite went through a whole lot too. God abandoned them for a good little while. You know, and people be thinking, I thought that was his chosen. I thought, you know, God does that sometimes, you know, but he loved his chosen. He gonna come for their rescue. And when he come for their rescue and make sure that case or whatever the situation in hand, he gonna make sure it's handled quickly. You know, so the need to always pray like this is persistent with him. Not just an unjust judge, you know, eventually listen. You see what I'm saying? At first, he never want to give her a time of day. He just kept on brushing her off, you know, doing, I saw the video, doing like this here, brushing her off, you know, but eventually, you know, she kept on pressing on, you know, until he finally listened. You know, he finally listened. You know, he said, even though he said she was bothering him, but he took the time to give her attention and he listened. You know, so this unjust judge, eventually he listened. You know, but God is much quicker to do so. You know, so however, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on this earth? Now, this is the last question that Jesus answered. And he, you know, he said, talking in parable. You know, he done told the story now. Now, the story, the package is for his disciples. No matter what your own situation is, no matter what your obstacles is, you know, no matter what big your problem is, you know, always pray, you know, and never stop. You know, even if God quiet, even if God take a long time to answer. You know, he wants them to be like this woman here. Just keep on praying. Just don't never stop. You know, you see how this woman prayers got answered because she never stopped. You know, so this is the last question that Jesus asked at the end of his speech. You know, he said, however, you know, when the Son of Man comes, you know, will he find faith on this earth? You know, will he find faith on this earth? You know, like this widow here. You know, I said yes, but it will be through. It will be through us, because um, some people just give up when they pray. When they pray for like 2 or 3 weeks, oh God, not answer me, you know, and they're destroying the towel, you know. So it'll be very few people that will be positioned like this woman here, you know, like this widow here. It'll be very few, because sometimes when somebody keep on refusing you, rejecting you, you know, some of us have pride and just don't go back no more. You know, this woman here, she had no pride. He kept on refusing her and then put his hand all in her face. She still kept on coming the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You know, so it will be a few. Will keep on being persistent like this woman here. So sometimes we may have to deal with an unjust judge like this here in life. You know, who will refuse us or reject us. Both is the same. But you must have to be positioned like this woman here. We see it well pays off. You know, always pray and not faint and become discouraged. Because sometimes in your long run, sometimes you can get discouraged. Sometimes your faith can wait. So Jesus saying, just keep on praying no matter what your problem is. Keep on praying. Keep being like this woman here. She kept on being persistent until she wore him out. She wore him out when he ain't had no choice but just to listen to her. At first he never wanted to listen. He just kept brushing her off. So God will hear you. Just keep on praying. He will hear your prayers. He may not answer you quickly like you want to, but he will always be on time. You know, God, if for some reason, he'll always be on time, no matter how long it is. He will still be on time. You could be in a situation about to step foot in prison or about to step foot on a bad situation. And you just kept on praying, you kept on praying to God. But all of a sudden, when you step one foot forward, that's what God right there jumping in. He will always jump in right on time. So God said, let us not worry, and doing good. You know, she was doing good. She wasn't doing nothing horrible. She was doing good, wanted justice because her husband had passed away. Her husband passed away, so she needed justice. We don't know what the justice was, but she needed some kind of justice done. So God still said, let us not go worry of doing good, for in due season, we will reap if we do not give up. And see, that's the main thing. In your storm, your trials, whatever your situation is, you cannot give up. Because sooner you about to give up, then there go your answer right there. So you cannot give up. You have to keep on holding on. So when you have done the will of God, and you may receive what is promised, the one who endure to the end will be saved. you know because see, God be testing your heart. God be testing your faith. He be testing. He was right there with Job. He right there with me. So he be testing your faith. See how long you can go. See if you get mad with God, and see if your faith is strong enough to keep on hanging on. So they positioned him on with him. She kept on being refused and rejected and pushed away. But she just kept on coming, kept on coming, until her prayers was answered. He had no choice but to stop and listen, and take her case. So position pays off. It pays off. Now Jesus tell a parable that give his listeners, a glimpse into what type of prayer that God approve of. He approved, and this is the number one that he approved of, position prayer. So Jesus told this story to his disciples. So the kind of prayer that approved with God is being persistent prayer. Even though he might take long, even though uh, he might don't be quiet, even though what the problem in the situation is, he wants to see how you gonna keep on praying, or you gonna get frustrated and just give up. This widow here, she never got frustrated. She just kept going, kept going. So persistent prayer is tendency every day, in the face of difficult or what appears to be a lack of response. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes it can be a lack of response of God. But eventually He do answer your prayers. Persistent prayer continue and even expands. So Jesus encouraged us to ask again and again and again. You ask God for something. If you don't hear it in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, keep on asking again. Keep on asking again and again. And that's what Jesus was telling his disciples. Keep on asking again and again. You know. So face of sin, seeming unresponsive of God, who is compassionate and He cares for us. He cares for us. Look how all His chosen ones kept on going to Him, crying to Him day and night. So I mean, they were praying 2 and 3 times a day because He said day and night they was crying out to Him. About this judge refused to take their case. So we thinking it was just this widow. Because this is a small town. So it was others that He would not take their case you know. But we have a compassionate God. He compassionate, He care for us. He constantly hear our cries. You know, He eventually answer us. And when He answer us, He always step in right on time. So when all cry out day and night, He answered. He made sure this judge helped them quickly. Now He made sure the judge helped them quickly. So we see how her being positioned pays off. We saw how it pays off because she kept going, she kept on going, and he had no choice but to stop and listen and take her case. Even though she had to wear him out for him to take it, but that's all right. That's all right. Her being positioned, it pays off. So when she wore him out, she wore this judge out, and he didn't have no other choice but to help her because uh, she kept on coming and she wasn't going to stop. And see, that's how you have to be. You got to be so positioned in your mind that you never going to stop. He saw that this widow she never was going to stop. She just kept on coming and she kept on coming. Until he was like, well, she's getting on my nerves. She just keep on coming. She bothering me. Now, what judge says that? Saying a client of his is bothering him instead of him taking her case. So we see that Jesus asks a question at the end. We see that Jesus asks a question at the end. Can faith be found anywhere on earth? And these who are positioned enough to hang on to the end will be fruit. That's what I said earlier. It will be fruit. And that's what he said. It will be a few people like this persistent woman. He want all us to be like this woman here. All us. So it won't be a few. It'll be a lot of us. So one, be positioned on prayer. Two, never give up. Never give up. Three, even when God quiet, you know, us take a long time, keep on praying, it will pay off. So we see that it paid off for this widow here. It paid off for her. For Jesus let us know that being positioned in your prayer is a very important one that God approved. So we see that God approved of this kind of prayer, being positioned, and don't never stop. So five, he wants to see if you will keep on praying or you will stop and give up. You know. So six, God will always step in right on time. For some reason, He always right on time. Some worry about how long it take. He will step in right on time. He stepped in for His chosen one, the Israelite. And when He stepped in, their cases all were handled quickly. You know. So seven, this judge kept refusing her, but that didn't stop her. It didn't stop her. And she kept on coming until she wore him out. And sometimes that's how we gotta do. We gotta wear them out. We ain't gonna let them wear us out. We gotta keep on wearing them out. You gotta keep on going, keep on going. So it pays off because she wore him out. It pays off. And where he didn't have no other church but to take her case. Had another church but staying up there and listen. Remember, he didn't want to never give her no time of day. He didn't brush her off. Hard didn't say no word, just put his hand and giving her a brick wall, and she'll just leave and come right back. He do the same thing, and she kept on doing it, kept on doing it, and she was not gonna stop until he take her case. Now, sometimes you may have to deal with an unjust judge, like this here, who fear God not, you know, he fear God not, so you have to wear them out sometimes, you know. Keep on being persistent in your prayer and seek God, and He will show up. Keep the faith and never give up. So this package was about being persistent in your own prayer and never give up. No matter what your situation is, no matter what your storm is, you got to keep on. Look at me. You got to keep on hanging on in there. You gotta keep on being persistent. Y'all need sometimes you might get tired, might get be bored. Keep on praying for the same thing. Some people say when you pray once, you gotta keep on doing. No, no, I disagree with that. You have to keep on praying. Look at this widow here. She kept on praying for the same thing all the time, every day. And the chosen one kept on praying for the same thing every day, crying for herself. So I disagree. If you got to keep on praying for the same thing every day, you keep on doing it. Never stop, never give up. Because God, look how long you're going to keep on praying, or you're going to get tired and frustrated and destroying the time. Because sometimes you can get frustrated. That's why He said, do not, get worried. Do not faint, in due time. So He's saying, don't never give up. You know, never give up. This lady never give up. She kept on going. She kept on going and going until she wind up and wore him up. You gotta let them see. They just like I told you about this girl I know a long time ago. She kept on being persistent. She kept on praying for that position that she wanted. She kept going. 3 months ago, she kept on going. It's another 3 months. She kept on going. Until he finally stood and looked at her